Hey guys, how you doing today? Out for my usual walk in the graveyard. Today we are reporting on the destruction of the small village of Lytton, British Columbia. If we recall, Lytton was the place earlier in the week during the enormous heat waves that were hitting the West Coast, where a heat record was broken twice in a row. In an unprecedented heat spike up. Experts are calling it unexpected. They're calling it enormous, worrisome, concerning. And the result of this is that due to the extreme heat in the region, a wildfire began and has now wiped out the village of Lytton. That the people of the village were forced to evacuate. Several were killed in the fires. This is a canary in the coal mine moment for us as citizens, that our chambers are filling up with poison. We are ringing the alarm bell. Things are going badly, and they are going to continue going badly. And the unfortunate reality is that if we continue to ignore climate change the way that we have, and if we continue to allow these sycophantic liberals and conservatives to rule us and pander to us and pretend as though they actually care about this issue, when the truth is they're just pandering for our votes, if we continue to allow this to move forward, we will find that there is not going to be a place for us to evacuate to when our time comes. That Lytton stands as a sacrifice to this capitalist death cult, which is happily trading money for our lives. And it's going to get more extravagant, and it's going to get worse. If you're one of these people who dump out of the video, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. We need to be supporting leftist voices. There's a lot of fascists in the discourse these days. They have a whole lot of money backing them. I could use some money myself. Help pay the rent, help keep me from being homeless. I've got my Patreon down below. Please consider donating $1. Even $1 helps. So thank you for your time. I also have a live stream, 6 to 9 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time. Please come in. We've got a good community going there where we are steadily building a revolution against all of this nonsense, because that's what we have to be doing. We have to be building a revolution against this, because it's obvious that our leadership, it's obvious that the corporations, it's obvious that our politicians do not care about us at all, and are going to simply shrug and say, oh, how unfortunate, once our cities begin to burn down like the village of Lytton has already burned down. We know that the corporate class, the sociopath class, has already abandoned us. We're well aware of it. We have the documents as far back as the 1970s showing that ExxonMobil and Chevron and all of these fossil fuel related companies were very well aware of the consequences of their inaction. We're well aware back in the 70s and 80s of what the consequences of continuing forward with fossil fuel were going to be, and they decided, you know what I prefer? Money for myself. And they decided that the destruction of the ecosystem, the destruction of the civil society, the destruction of communities like Lytton is perfectly acceptable for them to sacrifice in order to get wealth and money for themselves. This is criminal. These people are criminals. We need to arrest them en masse. I'm not saying this in a vacuum. This is an article that has been published in The Guardian, laying out exactly the case that I am saying right now, that ExxonMobil, everybody who's been involved in this process, needs to be arrested, tried, and incarcerated for crimes against humanity and crime and treason, frankly. We are losing towns to this. We are losing people to this. We are going to continue losing towns. We are going to continue losing populations that are going to be dislocated, and the crises are going to get larger and more hysteric until eventually our largest cities are going to be under threat from this climate change disaster that we are effectively ignoring. And it is being perpetrated and pushed forward by a group of people that you have to call rapacious sociopaths, who knowingly and willingly are sacrificing us for their wealth. And we know that they are part of what I call the capitalist death cult, because they must be suicidal. They care more about the numbers in their bank account than even their own lives. That they are willing to sacrifice their own futures and the futures of their own families in order to gain numbers in a bank account offshore. This is how psychotic and delusional these people have become, and for some reason, they're still part of the conversation. ExxonMobil is still sending lobbyists to lobby against climate change reform in the Biden administration. We have recent documents of them, a video of them admitting outright that while in the public they may be they are showing that they are sympathetic to climate change issues, that behind the scenes they are actively lobbying in order to continue plunging us to this hellish climate change destruction. At this stage in the game, the only thing these psychopaths are going to respond to is a full-scale rebellion. There is nothing left for the populace to do. They are not responding to reason, they are not rational, they are not responding to anything. The only thing that they will respond to is a wholesale abandonment of the absurd system that they are inflicting upon us. To the people who are standing there saying, "Oh, John, this is so hyperbolic, we'll adapt to this situation," that is extremely disrespectful to the natural world. That the natural world is absolutely capable of wiping us out. The arrogance with which we are walking around this plane of existence, pretending as though humans are the most powerful and the strongest thing on the planet, let alone the universe. These wildfires that wiped out Lytton, there's absolutely nothing that we will be able to do about them. The storms that are coming, that are going to wipe out communities all along the East Coast, there's absolutely nothing that we will be able to do about them. We will constantly be relocating, we will constantly be moving until finally the sun scours us off the face of this planet. And it's all being done so that a handful of rapacious sociopaths, who incidentally we know are spending their money. Oh, are they trickling that money back into the society? No, they're spending their money on Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island. That's where they're spending their money. And we're accepting the destruction of our entire civilization and our entire ecosystem so that these guys can go have sex with little girls. That's what we're doing. At this stage, it's a full-scale rebellion, or it is absolutely nothing. Quit your job. Stop participating. Go on strike. Do everything you can to dig your heels in and stop acting the way that we're acting. Because if we continue this way, we are going to end up like Lytton. We are going to end up scouring the civilization off the face of the planet while doing everything we're being told to do. This is the insane part of all of this, is that we are facing extinction as a species, and we are marching towards it, doing what we are told by the very people who are perpetrating the extinction event. Are we stupid? Are we stupid? The answer seems to obviously be yes. That any rational, thinking, empathetic, compassionate individual would say, this is obviously a bad thing to do. It is obviously a dumb idea to allow the very people who are responsible for perpetrating this crime against humanity to maintain their power and their wealth and to still be part of the decision making when it comes time to actually resolve this issue. At this stage in the game, if you are still a climate change denier, like the entire Conservative Party is a climate change denying party, you are not only delusional, but extremely dangerous. The most extremely dangerous people in our society today are within the Conservative Party because they are denying that there is actually a problem in the first place. Like, imagine there was an army that was on boats coming to land on the coast of Canada. They had sent us letters. They had told us what their intention was. We can see them. We know they're coming. We know what they want to do. And a fourth of the society, 25% of the people that you talk to, 1 in 4, were saying, no, there's no army. They're not coming. What would you say of these people? What would you think once the army landed and started burning down towns and started assaulting people? And they continued to say, oh no, there's no climate change. There's no army invading us. Nothing like that is occurring. What do you think we should be done with these types of people? What do you think we should be doing to the people who are denying the existence of this military force destroying our civilization directly in front of our eyes? Do you think that we should tolerate them? Do you think that we should listen to them? Do you think that we should allow them to walk around freely spewing this bile while the township of Lytton burns to the ground? I no longer believe that we are actually going to respond to this rationally. I no longer believe that the older generations are capable of the intelligent thinking or the intelligent thought required to actually prevent future disasters from happening. I continuously see people who are attempting to find solutions, and those solutions are always like, shoot a rocket to Mars, or let's dig a big hole and build our civilization underground. It's easier for us to believe that we will create some kind of illusionary, delusionary technological system that will somehow pivot us away from this disaster, instead of simply stopping. It's easier for us to contemplate and imagine a world in which we somehow create a technology to save us, instead of simply saying, no, just stop. Just stop. Stop polluting. We are a failed experiment as a species, and climate change is the test that the universe, the world upon which we stand, will say, well, I attempted to create intelligent life and failed. Time to try again. Maybe we'll have another go of it in 1,000,000 years or so, after this place has been completely scoured. And if we want to prevent it, full-scale rebellion is our only option. All right, that's the end of this video, guys. Under these circumstances, you're doing very well. We're ruled by a pack of psychopathic nightmare creatures who are attempting to destroy us. Under these circumstances, you're doing very well. You're a divine being, standing on divine energy. Don't let these guys gaslight you. Good luck. We're gonna need it.